Welcome back to my channel, everybody. Today I'm getting in a super long run, walk, run experience, and I'm seeing a lot of prairie dogs and hearing them. Could you hear them chiming in? They wanted to make sure to be recognized. And as you can see, some of the prairie dogs express traits that we as people do. Some of us are more outspoken. Some of us tend to bark a lot when we see something we don't understand. And that's good, that's necessary. We need gatekeepers and people who are watching over the community as if it were for their very own selves. In other words, selfishly. And at the same time, sometimes the forces in control have to recognize when something is tougher than it might seem, and maybe even illogical. So I'm going to show you this one prairie dog, and I wasn't making eye contact with it. I was just recording it through this device that I'm holding right now. And you'll notice that the prairie dog just keeps barking at me. It doesn't know how to ward me off. But the moment that I make eye contact with it, it disappears into its burrow. So the thing is that, like a lot of bullying tactics, some are bluffs. Like when bears confront one another, they don't get into it to injure one another right off the bat, unless it's a contest for resources.
Is that them?
Recently I made a video and I suggested something about repurposing clothing that has a long shelf life in it. And someone who apparently has never experienced poverty said, "You need to know your audience." Like they can speak for everybody. You need to know your audience. Nobody's gonna wear clothes that someone else has worn. Gross. I'm gonna tell you a story. Way back in the day, one of my cousins, I always debate whether to name people or not. One of my older cousins gave me a t-shirt. It was an Ocean Pacific t-shirt. And it was so cool. I'd never seen anything like it. The clothes that I got were probably more along the lines of stuff that was at JCPenney and other places like that. But this Ocean Pacific shirt had a surfboard on it. It was bold blue color. And my cousin gave it to me. So as you can imagine, that shirt was worn. And as a kid, I didn't have a judgment thinking, oh, I'm not gonna wear something that belongs to someone else. You know, I had nothing but an open mind. Like, what if my father were the same size as me and he were to have some amazing jacket that he passed down, you know, that I would remember him by, or something like that. I mean, I don't need the material stuff to remember anyone by, and nor does anyone else. But what if that item carried significant content to it, just like that shirt that my cousin gave me when he outgrew it, that fit me, that shirt that fit me, that belonged to someone who also helped me to smile through a lot of my challenges. What if we felt like that instead of going, oh, I don't want to wear something that someone else has worn? Would that be more responsible, more compassionate, more considerate? There's no telling. What I can tell you is that so far I've gone over 7.5 miles, and I'm gonna crank out one more lap around this lake and see what I end up with on today. My first long run day where I'm just going with it. Stay tuned. You tricked me. You tricked me. I thought you were over here. You're so funny.
It's kind of hard to see here, so I'm going to tell you what it says. When the power of love takes over the love of power, the world will know peace. Again, when the power of love takes over the love of power, the world will know peace. There still seems to be a lot of interest in my smart device videos that I made in the past, so I wanted to include the screens that show after you complete a run on these smart devices. All of these stats prove that I'm still a beginner. My pace on this run was not very fast. I walked quite a bit of it, and just to give you an example, for the purpose of documentation even, the amount of time it takes me to run 1 full mile is about, on average, the amount of time that this video will run through. So keep that in mind. So what do you think? These smart devices, I think, are pretty informative. They're a lot of fun to use. They give us a lot of great insight and all that. But what do you think? Please click on the comments and let me know. And yeah, I would appreciate it. Thanks again for watching and subscribing and sharing and all that. Until next time, peace, love, and all that old school stuff.